All right, we're here with Jeremy O'Leary and his permaculture oasis. Jeremy is one of Portland's finest permaculture experts who doesn't just talk about it, he lives it. So he's going to give us a tour of his land here and just show us all the techniques that people are going to be learning. And yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Well, the lazy gardening is basically the premise is that if you're having to put a lot of work into the system, there's something the system not doing the work for you. So one of the things, I am a bird lover, I have these bird feeders. Birds will eat a lot of insects, and basically it's when the birds spend a lot of time in the yard and, well, of course, poop, they'll be bringing a lot of phosphorus. And if you have healthy soils, the fungus in the soils will take that phosphorus and basically distribute it around the yard. And so it's another case where you let something in the system do the work for you instead of you having to haul around bags of whatever.
So permaculture is for the birds.
Heck yes. 2 summers ago, when we had a fairly kind of typical summer where it's, well, warm, not hot, cold, I was able to get upward a quart or more of fresh fruit from the yard every week for basically May through end of September.
So this is like a Franken cherry?
Yeah. Yeah, several different varieties of cherries on here. They're cherries that ripen at different times of the year, so that way I can just kind of like wander to a spot and get my cherry fix. If you look down, this is co-planted with a sea berry. So sea berry is a nitrogen-fixing shrub that, because it's a nitrogen fixer and it's not going to get tall enough to basically compete with the cherry leaves, the nitrogen fixer feeds the cherry tree. And so it's another example of you're setting up a system to do the work for you.
So the difference in permaculture design is also to think about trying to be able to harvest different fruits at different times so it's not all coming at once.
Yeah, you're stacking functions in space and time. And so you're trying to use up the space. Now this is a artichoke that I let go to seed. Obviously it doesn't look like much now, but the bees were just absolutely thick with it. Because my yard has this weird kind of triangle shape to it, the long rows just kind of created problems, and I thought about doing something, the keyhole design, which is a fairly common design, but the layout of the yard just wasn't particularly conducive. It's also the whole thing with rows, that was pretty much just something I started as a result of mechanical agriculture. That's not really applicable here. The idea with having these patches, you want to keep the soil as fluffy and loose as possible. So you have uninterrupted root growth wherever possible. These are a bunch of aluminum sliding glass doors I picked up from somebody who upgraded.
So this is a potato tower.
Yes.
And what did you do? Put the eyes of potatoes in there that you cut, or how did you get potato tubers started?
Well, I like to buy my potato starts in part because you generally get a higher yield than if you just reuse your existing potatoes. But one of the reasons I put things in the potato tower is so you want to give the potatoes to be able to create the plant to create the potatoes in a fairly loose soil. And it's also when it comes time to harvest them, I just pick up the plastic bin and I don't have to do any digging.
If somebody wanted to start one of these potato towers now, they could get going any time of year?
Potato towers you want to be doing sooner rather than later. Potatoes like to get going several weeks before the last frost. I believe one of the expressions is basically by St. Patrick's Day, you want to be having potatoes in the ground.
So get on it.
Yes. So we encourage you to come take Bright Neighbor's Permaculture Crash Course, which will be hosting at properties like myself and other people who, if you have a yard and you want to get going, we can help you get going on that. And it's a 4-hour course, and like one of the things I specialize in is how to incorporate so you have dogs running through the yard, and so you can also have native plants and be able to take care of our native wildlife at the same time.
Let's teach people permaculture.
Heck yeah.